This is Epic Groupcast. I'm Anthony. Today I'm joined by Mr. Jeremy Gothrop. Jeremy, did anything exciting happen this week with you, or any news?
New Girl started this week. It was the first new show of the TV season.
I need to check that out. I hadn't realized it'd come back.
Yeah, and I bought Destiny on Thursday. I ordered it from Amazon and got it Thursday. I've been playing that for a couple of days. That's pretty cool. It's definitely... heard a lot of talk about how it's too much like Halo, but I didn't think it was much like Halo once you get into it. I mean, there's some things up front. It's a gun and you're shooting aliens, so it's just like Halo.
It's exactly like Halo. And sitting next to him is Mr. Jordan Wiles.
Hello.
Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I went to a wedding yesterday, and that was an all-day experience, but other than that, it's been a really good weekend. A really good weekend, a really good week.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm super excited. A new music video dropped on YouTube. It's Jennifer Lopez and Iggy Azalea. Booty. Let me tell you need to watch that video. Woo! It's got a ridiculous number of views already, and most of them are mine.
Most of them are yours.
Most of them.
Like a third of them.
Yeah.
You can have that. I'll stick with, what is that, Nicki Minaj's Anaconda or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just big butt music video.
Yeah, and
summer, fall.
And it's great. And this one though, my only complaint is they switch scenes too fast on the booty shaking.
You need more quality slow-mo butt shaking.
Not necessarily slow motion, but...
You want Michael Bay butt shots, is what you're saying.
They should focus on it for more than a second before they take a different shot of a booty shaking. You know, I mean, there's just a few seconds in between each shot.
You want more quality, less quantity?
Length.
Okay.
I want length. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, length of booty shaking from the same person. And then, they can go back and forth between the two girls. That's fine.
Well, you should have.
But they need to slow down on how quick they go between them.
You should have had like a backstage pass to the shooting of the music video. Like, imagine the takes they would have had to do for all of the booty shaking.
Oh, but that was probably the highlight of my week, I would have to say. Children's homework grades, no, who cares? It's booty shaking video.
Priorities.
It's
priorities.
That's the tops. Just don't tell my wife I said that.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't listen to the show. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start off today. Our main big topic will be Godzilla, but before we get into that, we're going to do some news, then we'll do Godzilla, and after that we're going to do some TV shows that you should watch this fall that are returning. First off, End of Watch director David Ayer, is that right? Ayer?
I think so, yeah.
He could be directing Suicide Squad for Warner Brothers. If you're not familiar with Suicide Squad, they take a bunch of supervillains and make them do suicide missions, basically, for a reduced sentence, I think.
Yeah.
There might be some sentence reducing in there. They put bombs in their necks, so, I mean, they don't really have a choice in the matter.
Around. Is this movie or TV show?
This should be a movie, I believe.
Okay.
But, it's an interesting idea, but they really haven't set up a lot of villains.
Well, true, but
will
like
it be off universe or not?
See, they haven't really said. They said that they had kind of shelved it for a while because they were trying to figure out what they were doing with Justice League, but this is making news again that this could be done. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it would be hard to do it not R-rated. The comic usually features more violent criminals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would kind of like to see it.
But don't R-rated, R-rated comic book movies don't really do all that well.
Well, it depends on what it is.
The second Punisher, Warzone, was that R or was that PG-13?
I think it was R. The first one was R.
R for really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I thought
the Thomas Jane.
Yeah,
it was much better than they got credit for. I think.
Yeah.
I think if another one with him could have been better.
Yes.
Warzone was
just everywhere.
Made Ghost Rider look like a decent movie.
Oh man, that's hard to do.
Bad. Our second piece of news that came out this week is CBS has given a series commitment to Supergirl.
Like a full, defined series.
I don't
Like,
know.
we're gonna get you a pilot and we're gonna let you know if we want a series, or like full 20-some or 13-some.
That was the way the news read, that they were going to go to series with Supergirl, so I'm assuming you'll get at least one
That's
season.
a bold jump, considering they don't really have anything, do they? Actress, writer, director, producers?
The written and produced by Greg Berlanti from Arrow and Ali Adler of Chuck.
Okay.
They're going to be working together on this project. They've been working on it a little bit behind the scenes, and it came out a week or so ago that they were going to do the show, but they hadn't said where it was going to be. They just said it wasn't going to be on CW.
Okay.
But with CBS picking this up, that means every network will have a comic book show. That's kind of impressive. I don't know how you're going to do a Supergirl show without Superman. Any thoughts, Jordan? Do you think that that could be done? I mean, you're going to have to talk about him. I would think. You have to show him.
But two things. One, I really don't know. I don't know very much about Supergirl to think that she could carry a show on her own. Like, I don't know if the character's really that good.
Right.
A lot of depth to it, because she's always been a side character to Superman. And if this does go through, we're gonna see the same thing that we do now with Gotham, and that is like, hey, this is great. We're seeing these secondary Superman family characters, but like, really, when's Superman gonna come? Who's gonna play Superman?
Right.
How many episodes is he gonna be in?
Right.
Like, I don't want it to be that way. Like, Gotham is gonna be about Gotham. Supergirl should be about Supergirl. Don't involve Superman or Crypto.
Or it's going to be set young, and it's going to be a teen angst show.
Oh, well, yeah, that could be.
Great girl version of Smallville. There.
Well, they did mention something about they were wanting to do her first starting, like her career starting. So I guess it could
Smallville
be done
with Supergirl.
Smallville, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
then you kind of have to involve Superman at that point. Like,
well,
When she's starting another city, just
yeah,
that's Metropolis, and she's somewhere else.
Anywhere but Metropolis.
Yeah.
did CBS say, is it going to be on CBS?
As far as I know, it will be on CBS.
Okay. See, that just confuses me too.
They're part owner of CW, so it could end up on CW.
Yeah. I mean, that would make more sense to me, because you think CW, you think that like teen angst, mystery, fantasy, sci-fi
Well, maybe they want to dip their toe in the pool and go that
But
route.
CBS is all like, if it's not a procedural mystery crime thriller, then it's going to be a Chuck Lorre comedy. And if it's not that, then CBS has no interest or really need for it. They already make enough money with those two genres.
I think the largest viewers, or the most viewed channel is CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's predominantly old people.
I'm
like Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
For some reason.
I would
They
really
find it funny. I don't know how.
I would really rather see a character who's not the girl version of somebody else. You know, this is the equivalent of having a Batgirl show. You know, it's just I don't get why not have a Wonder Woman show or any other? I know she's going to be in the movie or whatever, but why not have any other female superhero? Why not? Why this secondary character? But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, if you think about it in the DC universe, aside from Wonder Woman, name another female, like, A-list superhero.
Oh, there's not another
Yeah.
A-list, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
I mean, you could say Catwoman, but she's so grounded in the Batman mythos.
Yeah.
And
I am thankful that they're doing Supergirl and not something within Batman, because
that's
I'm just
plus
tired
two.
of DC entertainment-wise always hanging on to, like, Batman's popular, let's give him more Batman. Like,
Right.
show us other things. Give us a reason to like other things that are going on.
Push something else.
Yeah.
But they go for the safe bet too often.
They do it well. I mean, every one of those movies and stuff like that, they're good, but
made money.
yeah.
I mean, even Batman and Robin made money. As bad as it is, it made money.
I mean, they had their own credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The Bat credit card.
yeah.
And they had awesome one-liners from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How do you get a credit check as Batman?
don't
That's what I want to know.
Seems hard. Yeah.
Well, I said the same thing about the 60s TV show. He had a license plate.
Yeah.
So
You've got to register all your vehicles.
Right.
There's
Anthony.
the address there for the registration.
Yeah.
There's a P.O. box.
Yeah, that had to be it.
That's smart. Yeah,
Had to
yeah.
be it. Also in news this week, Roberto Orsi. He wrote Star Trek, the third one. I think he probably worked on the other two.
The Return of Spock. What do you mean third?
The new.
Oh, he's writing the third.
Yeah, he's
one.
writing. I think he
Okay.
worked on the
Search
first
for
two
Spock.
also.
That's what I was thinking of.
Anyway, he is leaving the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reboot movie to focus on Star Trek 3. I think he might be directing Star Trek 3.
That's probably a good move.
But good news, though. You'll still get your Power Rangers July 22nd, 2016. Power Rangers reboot.
But there's no writer attached to it
I
now?
think he was directing. They still have writers. I forget who was writing. I think he was just directing Power Rangers.
I could go for a Power Rangers action movie. That would be funny. I still really like how
if it's
campy-
Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, like the Mighty Morphin action movie is still amazing of just how campy and awful and over the top it is.
And I liked the suits better in the movie than the TV series.
They actually did look really good.
I liked them. I did. But that may just be me. Did you watch the Power Rangers movie, Gothard?
I don't think so. I watched
With Ooze. What was
No.
his name?
Yeah, I didn't watch the Power Rangers Turbo.
the first series,
Yeah.
and not much, not religiously or anything. It was on, so I was like, yeah.
Wow, so like that's my
It was in the 90s or whatever.
yeah. That was my. I remember
It's like,
being
this is
in
not
kindergarten
Voltron.
and seeing a commercial for like the original Power Rangers and being like, I'm gonna watch that.
All right. So I'll just tell you this. I was too old to be watching Power Rangers. I was in junior high. Anyway, and I was on the basketball team there at my grade school, junior high, whatever. And I would actually have my mom come pick me up early from practice so I could make it home on time to watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Because it just wasn't the same recording it with VHS, you know.
That's true. That's true.
So it really annoyed
Plus
my
it was
coach, but the team was terrible, so I didn't get in any trouble for it. But I had to watch the Green Ranger. He was the best, you know.
Is he bad? Is he good?
Yeah, you never knew.
He's a conflicted soul.
Was he going to lose his powers? So it was rough. It was rough for my childhood. I had to dedicate that time to the Power Rangers.
Were those some rough nights, just clutching the blanket, like I don't know if he's gonna make it.
I don't know if he's going to make it. Will he ever make a move on Kimberly? I just don't know. And then the most exciting piece of news this week that I heard was 20th Century Fox is moving ahead on the Deadpool film.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm
For
really
2016.
excited. Yeah, and the release date's February 12th, 2016.
I'm excited about that.
For those of you who don't know, some footage of the Deadpool movie leaked online. I don't know if you can still find it. Fox was pulling it down.
No, they've left it up there. Like
They were pulling it down.
they were immediately, but I don't know. You can still find that test footage. Like
I knew that
easy peasy on
you
YouTube.
and me could find it. I didn't know.
Well, you could
the average
just Google Deadpool Comic-Con footage or test footage, and there's like 20 different videos. The same video, but
right.
it's all up
Try
there.
to watch the HD version if you can.
It's just nice. It's cool.
I loved that test footage. I thought there would be no way that they would make this film because just from the test footage, you can tell it's going to be an R-rated film.
And it should.
And it should be. But it was just spot on. And you don't see too many comic book films get the character as well as they did with this first trailer. Did you see the teaser footage?
Yeah. I really think this movie could be like a semi-violent superhero airplane movie. I really do think that. And I want Brian Posehn to do a cameo in the movie because I think that would be good.
I loved the test footage because it starts off with him setting on an overpass, coloring with his little Crayolas all set out and his little radio, singing Gwen Stefani's "Holler Back Girl," and the radio's got like his name tag on it and everything. I loved it. So yes, I'm very excited about this film. I can't wait to see it.
It'd be good to distance themselves from the Deadpool and the Wolverine movie too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They need to make that clear for the non-comic book fans that it's not going to be the same.
And my favorite part about it was the comedy of it was just like spot on of like this is a mess. This is not a messed up guy, but clearly a pretty unbalanced, insane guy who's good at his job, but he's just weird. And all of it was just funny.
When he busts in on the bad guys, I have something to say. Trevor, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And then he just starts fighting them,
I mean, well, it is Van Wilder meets Punisher.
Van Wilder meets Punisher.
It is Ryan Reynolds.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, they definitely need to stick with Ryan Reynolds on this.
Yeah.
I guess he hasn't been confirmed, but
he
was in it was his voiceover in the test footage, so I'm sure.
Well, and he did like
this.
I remember seeing pictures of
the
him
motion capture,
the mocap,
yeah. But our big topic for today is Godzilla. We're going to talk a little bit about Godzilla and how we felt. Did you guys like the film?
Yeah, it was alright. It is significantly better. I like the Matthew Broderick Godzilla for different reasons, just because that movie is just so weird compared to any other Godzilla movie before it.
Right.
It's completely different. This is more
traditional.
This is kind of more so the old school, like, Japanese Godzilla movies. As a Godzilla movie, a movie based on this monster, I liked it. He looks really great. The special effects are really nice. Like, Godzilla himself looks really, really cool. The other, like, what do they call them? Motus, yeah. They look really cool. Like, the little fight sequences of them are interesting, and I liked the lore of it, of, like, they're nuclear monsters, and they're closer to the Earth's core now, and Godzilla just kind of, like,
to feed off the energy.
Yeah, and I liked that. If the movie was just that, I would have loved it a lot more. I really felt like the human element of it was okay, but it was just so completely unreal. Yeah. Well,
that was the theme in the summer movies this year. That was that way. Transformers was that way, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was that way.
Yeah,
the humans ruined it.
Yeah, they're not interesting. One thing I didn't like is that they pushed Bryan Cranston so much in this movie, and he's only in a small portion of it. The Aaron Johnson who plays Ford, like the soldier, he is more of a superhero in this movie than he is in, like, Kick-Ass, or probably even in the next Avengers movie. I mean, so much stuff happens to him that he shouldn't survive, yet he does. And then it makes no sense that they're so quickly like, oh, you're just a random Air Force or Navy or whatever he's in dude who's like, not even supposed to be here, but you're here.
We're gonna let you do this.
But since you're a part of our army, we'll just make sure we can get you a flight back to where you need to be. No questions asked, no worries, no big deal.
Right.
And
no ID required.
Yeah. And the decisions that they make in this movie, the humans are dumb and idiotic and go against everything that the movie teaches you about these monsters and what should happen. And without humans, it's a much better movie. The only time that humans are in this movie that I really enjoy is whenever they do, like, the jump
parachute.
The parachute.
That was the coolest thing in the movie.
Yeah, that is.
Well, next to maybe Godzilla ripping the mouth open and shooting fire down the thing's throat.
Yeah, like that.
Those are the two best scenes.
That scene alone is. I would tell anyone to watch this movie just for that scene, because it's well shot, and it's just it's beautiful seeing them fall within, like, all the dust and clouds, and it's really, really
they have
cool.
the flare so they can see each other, and it goes first person on the guy, and you can hear him breathing, and just see what he's saying. And that was that's a very cool shot.
Real, and it's intense.
Talking about the human aspect, a good friend of mine, they said, as far as Aaron Johnson, him and Elizabeth Olsen, that he could have been trying to get home to a plant. Like, that's how important she was to the story. Oh, you know what? I got this dog I got to go check on. Or I left the oven on. Like, she was just kind of there.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm not complaining. She's a pretty girl, but she had nothing to do with the story.
Well, in her defense, it's not like they didn't really even give her that much.
No,
like, she really is just in the story of, like, a reason for him to get to this point.
Right.
Like,
and it's not her. It has nothing to do with her. It was just they really dropped the ball on her end.
I really think that everything to do with Godzilla and the monsters and the lore and why things happen in the area that they happen, that's all really well written. It's just, it really feels like the human aspect was like, okay, well, we can't just make this solely about monsters. We gotta have people in it.
Right.
What's a loose fitting storyline that this guy just happens to be at the right time.
Right.
I did like that it wasn't like a Mothra or a monster we've seen before in our previous Godzilla
Those are
movie.
coming, from what I hear.
And that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I like that this is pretty original.
Right.
In the
Starting
sense,
out.
yeah.
The doctor's name, scientist's name, played by, was it Ken Watanabe?
Yeah.
He, I think he did good. But he had this belief that nature was going to have balance and that Godzilla would help them with these Motus, as they show up in the film. But they don't give a lot of reason as to why. He just says, let them fight. I mean, he doesn't give good reason as to why Godzilla's not going to eat everyone.
He kind of just...
Because the plot requires it. He's there for exposition. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he's a person.
He's a talking head. I mean...
I did like him, and I liked that he had this strong belief in Godzilla as being the alpha predator and was going to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
But they just didn't present it in a reasonable way. Oh, he's going to fight him. Why? He is. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, totally. Have you seen this thing before? 1954. We have reason to believe.
We go way back.
Yeah, I've seen him in 1954. So,
yeah, the movie really is just like monster set piece. It's monster set piece after set piece after set piece with exposition in the middle of like all of them, just kind of sandwiched in, so we can.
Well, they had total screen time for Godzilla of 9 minutes, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Like, are we talking like full shot or even just any shots?
Any shot. I think it's 9 minutes total screen time.
I can believe that because we go almost like 30 minutes before you even see a monster, like before you even really see Godzilla or another monster or anything like that. Like it sets up a
fins
lot.
or whatever in the opening, or
yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where his name's Ford, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's
not Chevy
on the train, and there's a little kid on the train who gets separated from his parents, and so he tells the parents that he will bring the kid back. There's no need for that. Like, he could have just been on the train when the monsters showed up, but they had to do more human.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because the whole reason was he should have been able. No, that's right. He would have just been on the train.
He would have just been on the train.
Yeah. But the best part about that is
and he had to ride the train twice. But
yeah,
that gave him a reason to linger in the setup area with the kid, trying to get him to find his parents.
Yeah.
So you turn around and see the army guys to ask for a ride back to them. He wouldn't have needed to go into that, and he wouldn't run into the military.
He wouldn't have turned in the
how
kid.
It really works. Like if just any military person sees another military unit, if they're just like, "Can I catch a ride? Like wherever you're going?"
It's like a pilot.
Well, the thing is it'd be desperate times, much like a movie like Independence Day.
Yeah.
You're going to want every armed man you can get.
You probably need more reference than, hey, I'm in the Navy.
Yeah.
Right.
You could probably make it happen if you needed to.
Yeah. I was sad to see that there was no Matthew Broderick in this film.
Just like a weird cameo.
No, I was worried whenever they first announced Godzilla because of the other film and how poorly it had done. I didn't think it'd be well received, especially following, what was that movie? Gypsy Danger.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
I love that movie.
But it didn't do so well. I mean, at least in the United States.
That's true.
It did better in China.
Yeah, it did better abroad than it did here.
It didn't do so well here, so I was kind of worried for Godzilla.
It didn't have globally to get a sequel, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as like a Godzilla movie, of course it's more of a Voltron movie, I think.
Oh, Pacific Rim.
Yeah, because a monster shows up and this big robot goes out and kills it.
That's true.
It's Voltron.
It's Voltron.
But it was a fun movie.
It was a fun movie.
And it's constant monsters and robots fighting.
Right.
Where this is more about the lore and the anticipation or the fear or whatever. You know?
Maybe we'll get more in the second one. I will say that when Godzilla shows up in Hawaii and they zoom up and you see him and it is awesome. And then they immediately cut away. That was the most annoying thing in the film. And then you kind of get a glimpse of the fight that's going on a small TV as someone's watching it in their home. I really would have liked to see more of the Hawaii fight. There should have been more monster on monster action in the film.
I mean, you can kind of see it as they're really trying to build up to that last big fight. Because you do see more and more of those monsters individually and then together with Godzilla once you get to that point. But
a third movie, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Also, with Godzilla, they, on YouTube, How It Should Have Ended.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, did you watch the How It Should Have Ended for Godzilla?
Is it new? Like, did it just come out?
It was in a month.
Oh,
I never watched it because I hadn't watched Godzilla yet. I wanted to watch Godzilla first, so I still hadn't got around to watching it.
I don't know, I can't remember.
Well, anyway, they have the after of the fight, and everyone is cheering for Godzilla.
Yeah.
And sitting at home watching the news report about Godzilla is one Clark Kent from Man of Steel. And he's like, come on! So he immediately flies to the shoreline. And he's like, are you kidding me? Godzilla destroys everything, kills the monsters, and you cheer for him? He said, all those creatures wanted to do was procreate. You know who else wanted to procreate at the expense of humanity? Zod! So
that's pretty good.
I really enjoyed that they gave, the Man of Steel his due there with
that is pretty good.
With their Godzilla How It Should Have Ended.
Yeah, that is one thing that, like, the shots in this movie, like, whenever Godzilla shows up, it just goes from, like, city untouched
right.
to nothing left of this city.
Right.
And in a matter of moments. And then every time you see people, that is one thing I have to commend it for. Is that the last time I've seen a lot of, like, huge destruction of, like, this was, like, probably, like, 2014 or whatever, 2012.
2012.
Yeah. When it was just really, like, like, CGI people just falling off bridges and just dying in mass numbers. Like, you don't see, like, really anyone die in this movie at all. Like, even the people that get, like, attacked by the monster, like, oh, they get squished, but, you don't see any blood. There's no, like, oh, the horror. It's just kind of like, yep, that dude's dead, because it's a monster.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that. I don't, even though at the very end, whenever you see people like crawling out of the rubble, they're like barely even scratched up or look like someone just dumped like a trash can of dust on them, and that's about it.
One thing I didn't like is the what are they called? The
Motu
doing the EMP thing when all the ships were in the harbor and all the planes started falling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure if a plane's flying at 500 miles an hour, it's not gonna
just start me.
Yeah, they look like they were throwing like frisbees. Only one of them crashed like straight forward, like it would.
Yeah.
They're going that
all the rest
fast.
of them just dropped.
They're very aerodynamic.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you can still control them somewhat without power.
Without them doing nosedives immediately.
Yeah. Not just nosedives. Some of them were falling backwards. And some of them were flying like frisbees, like they've been thrown like you throw a dinner plate.
Yeah.
Just flying into aircraft carriers like sideways.
That is true. Yeah, I've seen enough of crappy, I shouldn't say crappy, but weird episodes of French to understand, like, if an airplane stops working, it's just going to continue to glide for a good chunk of time.
Right.
But
I don't know if they got the controls.
A $1 billion
a
fighter jet.
Yeah. That was a cool concept. But, and the weird, like, Muto on Muto action, that was interesting. I'm just going to put this giant nuclear missile into my baby pouch.
Baby pouch, yeah.
Thing.
That was one thing that I thought was interesting, is that they had told them early on in the film that these things feed on nuclear radiation.
That's
and they continue to try and bomb them with nukes.
Like, that makes no sense
and
to me.
they just eat them. There's a scene with the Motu in Hawaii. It's taking a missile from the sub and it puts it in its mouth. I guess it carries it.
Yeah.
No, it carries the one from the train. It eats one from the sub, and then later when they're going to nuke it, it steals the one from the train, and then that's what they use for baby making later on in the film.
That's just a stupid and I don't know.
They explain it too, because they think
that the blast will be big enough.
They think that they'll blow up before they can siphon off the radiation.
Yeah.
Which, you probably have bombs that aren't radioactive that were big enough to do that too.
Yes.
Especially if you can trick them into eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just thinking outside the box. But
Put a little radiation on a giant barrel of C4 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get inside of it. Its skin's probably not.
right. Yeah.
Clearly, it can't handle fire well.
Yes.
So
Right. Not Godzilla's nuclear fire. It
that
can't
was the coolest thing, though, is like seeing his fire so hot that it was blue. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good film. It had its faults, but it was one of the better films. It surprised me. I didn't think it would be that good.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
I think if I had seen it in theaters this summer, it probably would have been one of the lesser films I'd seen.
Oh, in
Yeah,
theaters.
yeah. I got to
I can
see
see
it in
that.
theaters.
It was
and
better than Transformers, but that would be about it.
It was
better.
cool seeing like Godzilla on the big screen.
Yeah.
That
Did you watch
was really
Ninja
cool.
Turtles? It was better than Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it was probably even.
I don't know.
Turtles is more fun.
Yeah,
Still need to
Turtles
see
was
that.
funny. You need to see Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. When's
Yeah.
it come out on Blu-ray? Anytime soon?
Probably right before Christmas, that'd be my guess. Just so they
Okay.
can get it and
Get Turtles for your holiday.
Yeah.
Cheer.
All
I don't
right.
think they've announced Guardians release date either, so I'm sure they're.
Oh yeah.
I think that
I can't wait for that.
I can see Marvel kind of holding off on a lot of those releases just so they can maybe like have like a phase 2 kind of box set like they had with the phase 1. I don't
They'll
know.
get pushed way back though, so
Yeah.
because of the weird licensing
And-
thing with the.
Really? Why put it out on DVD or Blu-ray now when it's still in theaters and it's still doing really well in theaters?
Oh yeah.
It just
Yeah,
dropped
keeps
down
going.
last weekend.
It's no longer the number one.
It and Turtles weren't number one for the 1 and 2 for like 5 weeks. They were number 1 and number 2 for 5 weeks straight
That's crazy.
because nothing was coming out. Nothing
Right.
important.
Guardians is good. It made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Good
September
timing
is a
too.
dead
The
zone
release.
for movies usually.
That some weird Thriller was number 1 and Dolphin Tale 2 was number 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because that's a touching family story.
Yeah.
right. Families love movies.
And then Guardians is still number 3 and Turtles number 4.
Families buy more tickets than
Yeah.
the average Joe too, because you have to get one for every member that's of age.
True.
We're gonna shift gears now and go from Godzilla over to our favorite TV shows that are returning this season. Shows that we think that you should probably watch, but you probably won't. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I believe that was your show, wasn't it, Jordan? You
Yeah.
liked Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I love this show with all of my being.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I still haven't seen it.
It is seriously it was the funniest show that I'd seen last season. Like,
Yeah, before.
but hands down compared to new shows and returning shows. It's one of those shows to where like the first like 5 or 6 episodes are just kind of like, all right, this is a funny show. And then like from there on out, it hits its stride of like every episode I'm having to pause because I'm laughing so hard.
Really?
It's just every character is great in its own different way. And it's hilarious and it's fun and it's lighthearted and I'm excited about it. Andy Samberg is great in it. Terry Crews is hysterical in it as well. I mean, every character is great and it is my most anticipated show coming back simply
Really?
because I like those characters so much.
Wow.
Like this is a show that, I would go over to Lawrence's, house every once in a while and for the while he was rewatching the entire season and
Oh yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's like, I just wanted to sit there the whole time and just watch it with him again. Like it's so much fun. It is, I can't, if you can only watch one comedy,
Right.
seriously, out of anything, even like, I know, like we talked about, most people like Big Bang Theory and stuff like that. Like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great. I think it was like on track to win a couple of Emmys, like in its very first season and stuff like that.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's well written. It's really, really well cast.
See, I love the New Girl. Like that's
New Girl is good, but and I love New Girl. I'm finishing up the 3rd season now, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine is just much funnier.
really.
Yeah, watching them both. They were both on Tuesday nights last season.
Yeah.
So we were watching them together, and I thought it was funnier than New Girl.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out then.
I wish, I don't know, we are kind of in that time period now of like comedies, like cutaways are really big now as far as like Family Guy of, oh, remember that one time that I blah, 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 and then it cuts
Right.
to that. It does that, and I hate that formula, but every time it does it, it's hysterical.
Oh really?
And I can't stop laughing about it. And they've got great guests and, Everyone should. I know it's on Hulu. I know it's on Hulu Plus. I don't know if it's like you can get the whole
season.
I don't know if the whole
Probably
season
the
on
last
just.
5. Fox now has the last 5.
Okay.
It's fairly cheap to buy.
Yeah.
I think you can buy it for under $20 on Vudu or
It's not on
similar
Netflix yet.
services. No.
No. I don't know if and when it will be. They're getting pretty good now about Netflix stuff, but I heard that Arrow is actually delayed on Netflix till like October or something.
I think the day it returns.
Premiere,
yeah. Either the day or the day before. I forget. But you're not going to have much time to watch season 2 before the show starts.
No, and I'm still like half. Like I probably have like 10 episodes left of that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then we also got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was also yours, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I have it on there simply because I just want to see what they're going to do with that show. The first season was really weird. Like the first half of that series and the second half, or first half of the season, second half of the season are completely different shows. The first one is that formula of kind of here's the big bad of the week, here's the problem we've got to fix, and there's no real like, they touched on overarching story, but it wasn't until like halfway did they just say like, we're throwing all that stuff out the window and we're only focusing on this arc now. And I think I don't know that, I don't know if Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. knew that in the new Captain America movie they would just disassemble S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
in the first place. So I don't know how they had to respond to that in the show, but...
It had to, because how far along, or how far ahead of time was Captain America written?
Oh, yeah.
I guess,
They were probably filming it either at the same time they were filming the very beginning of the show.
Yeah,
or
I would
before.
say. Yeah, they probably did. There was probably communication.
Yeah.
They seem to be, they do pretty decent with that.
I want to see them have an entire season that they can kind of do their own thing. Like
That'll
I'm
probably never happen.
No,
It'll
no,
probably be
no.
reactionary to the films.
But you know, like whenever they had those episodes of like, when Sif went to like, here's a crossover for Thor 2, and it was just like, we're in London doing cleanup.
Yeah,
or
see, that's the thing.
Here's a Thor character showing up in the show. Like that stuff was fine. Like that was fun.
They had the cleanup from Thor 2. They promoted one episode as coming out of Thor 2, and they ran into, I just call him Stu the Asgardian. They run into an average Asgardian that's been hanging out on Earth. Mm-hmm. I thought that story sucked in comparison to when Sif showed up. I thought that was a better story to have, and it even ties into Thor: The Dark World. It would have been way better to have had that episode.
She was one of the escapees.
Yeah,
right.
She was hunting down an escapee.
No, she was. The girl who Sif was hunting was an escapee from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
from Thor 2.
Yeah.
So
I like that stuff, but because they had to spend so much time on Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D., I felt like it was just kind of thrown at the end, and they just quickly had to put a bow on it. And I wanted to see what they're going to do with an entire season of whatever they want to do. Like I don't want it to be so bogged down by the new Guardians movie did this, so we have to change our kind of formula to fit that.
Well, since nothing happened on Earth, it shouldn't be affected.
Well,
true.
The thing that I think where Guardians is going to come in is Coulson's miracle cure. When they finally revealed it was coming from the corpse of a blue alien, and the Kree are blue.
Yes,
and the Kree were featured in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's going to be the
somehow
link.
they've got to
But I don't know. I'll agree with you. The show does pick up. It takes it a while.
Yeah.
For me, episode 2 is almost unforgivable for me when they blow a hole in the airplane and plug it with a rubber raft at 30,000 feet. I hate that so much.
It's a very good raft.
It's a super raft.
It almost ended the show for me. Like
Kevlar
I was almost
rubber
done.
Raft.
That's
what it was.
Then episode 6 was what kept me. I thought episode 6 was a really good episode when they find these people are dying from a mysterious disease, and it turns out that they have some firefighters in New York had saved a Chitauri helmet.
Oh yeah.
That episode I liked. It was kind of suspenseful a little bit. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I think it kind of went downhill again, and then it started gaining speed towards the end.
I'm getting really excited I'm looking forward to the Sky kind of plot line thing because I'm convinced that Sky is a Skrull.
Oh, that might be interesting.
I'm convinced that and they've already said they've cast her father and you're going to see father and things like that. But I'm convinced that he's a Skrull and she is one, but something has happened as far as she has amnesia and she doesn't realize it or whatever because they hinted a little bit.
Well, she was a baby when they found her. So.
They hinted all season that she's a little bit different, but they never really explain all that much.
Right. And
we already see the Kree a little bit, and she was exposed to that, and I'm excited to see what they do with that. I still don't like the idea of them. It's a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, and so I think, they're part of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're
but
just...
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s no more.
Yeah, they're just renegades, and we're gonna bring back S.H.I.E.L.D. because I don't have anything else to do, and I guess I should.
Because I watched last week, I was just flipping the channels, and the season finale was on again.
Mm-hmm.
The week before the new one. And, that's basically what Coulson says.
Right.
Sorry, Nick Fury, and they're like, we're going to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. And
My thing
I think that's where it's going to start.
Is that S.H.I.E.L.D. is a top secret government entity, and they put their logo on everything.
They're not top secret.
The bottled water in the canteen has the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on it.
But they established later on in the series, not series, but Marvel Universe, that S.H.I.E.L.D. is not a secret organization.
Well, I thought it was interesting, though, in Iron Man, they weren't even called S.H.I.E.L.D. until the end of the film.
Yeah.
But then, when they show flashbacks, and even Ward knows who S.H.I.E.L.D. is whenever he was a little kid in juvie.
Yeah.
He knew what S.H.I.E.L.D. was, so I thought that was kind of a misstep on the show.
But, yeah.
I am interested, though, in... I want to join with this topic here. Marvel's second show coming to TV, Agent Peggy Carter. They're going to be on S.H.I.E.L.D. Or Peggy Carter is in the...
Old Peggy Carter?
The young Peggy Carter, from what I understand, is going to be in either the first or second episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then they're going to have their show. I think... Is she going to have all of the Howling Commandos with her on her show? From the Captain America, the First Avenger?
I've seen a picture, and most of them were...
Most of the same actors.
Yeah.
So, it should be interesting. I liked her in Captain America, the First Avenger. I liked that film. It's not one of Marvel's best, but I did like the film. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes.
I could see that show being more entertaining than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
Yeah. And then it's going to be...
Of course, it'll be just pretty much procedural because it's all the history's set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's still be interesting.
Well, I mean, yeah, the history
it's going to be very low tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's more of a detective-y type thing rather than check it out, here's a canteen that if you take out the bottom and twist it to the side, it's a walkie-talkie.
Right.
I don't want MacGyver.
You don't want gadgets?
Yeah, I don't want MacGyver gadgets in the show. Although that'll probably be the case.
Yeah.
But
laying the groundwork for S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think S.H.I.E.L.D. interests me in mostly, not as a series, but as building up to the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they're going to be doing.
That'll be the lead-in for Avengers.
Yeah.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is it Baron Strucker? Is that the guy that's at the end?
Yeah. Strucker.
Maybe. With the twins.
The Miracles.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and he says that Hydra has other bases and he's going to let S.H.I.E.L.D. have them or whatever.
He said S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra don't matter anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's going to let S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe that's what the show will be. It'll be that you'll see the team taking down other...
They'll be getting S.H.I.E.L.D. back, but it won't matter because...
Right. There'll be other pocket Hydra that they'll be taking down for the show. The next show on our list is The Blacklist.
Oh, yeah.
It was a show that...
Starts Monday.
Yes. That Jeremy would like to see. I finished it. Loved it. Have you watched it yet, Jordan?
I have not.
Netflix it. Get through it. It's awesome.
I very well may. I don't really have a new show than Fringed and Eureka, but...
We'll try not to spoil too much of the show for you.
It's totally fine if you want to spoil it.
It is large. I mean, it's set up as a procedural, but you see later on that a lot of the procedures were set in play by Red Foreman, played by what's his name?
The main character?
James Spader.
James Spader,
Okay.
yeah.
He plays the main character.
Reddington.
Yeah, and he sets up most of the procedures, and they end up being for his own purpose.
Yeah,
You see that much later on.
He basically, the FBI's in his pocket and they don't know it.
Oh, okay. That's
Like,
kind of cool.
They think he's working for immunity, but really he needs more manpower. So
Yeah.
he has the FBI tracking down people that are threats to him
And
specifically.
he'll only work with a specific agent because he knows her father, he says, and he trusts her or whatever.
Trust the family.
Yeah.
There's no weird love thing in there, is
No,
there?
there's a big age difference.
Cool.
No. Which that doesn't mean anything in Hollywood, but
Right, yeah.
True.
I mean, as the show goes on, you'll have theories about how things go from where it starts. But it is a good show. It ended well. I can't wait to start watching the new episodes on it. And Jeremy, you had also Persons of Interest.
yes.
Batman.
Person of Interest,
Yeah.
and that's Batman Without a Mask, if I'm correct. Is there anything specific about it? I haven't seen the show. I've seen a trailer for the new season, and I thought it looked amazing. Is that...
It is very much... The one good thing of the Star Wars prequels was Senator Palpatine's plan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Seeing everything else, all the Jedi the acting was terrible, the writing was terrible, but the plan was good.
Okay.
And in this, you don't see the plan until the end of season 3.
Really?
Yeah. It takes 3 seasons of the first season and a half to two almost through the second season is mostly procedural. You get a few callbacks. The idea is that this huge computer system that Harold, who's Ben from Lost, set up and sold to the government for $1. It just spits out a number to the government that gives them I think it's supposed to be a Social Security number, but I'm not sure what it is for terrorists because they're not Social Security numbers. But
Right.
but it gives them a number. It gives the government a number, and they track the person and they arrest them. It's kind of future-ish, but
Right.
it's,
Sort of
Well, I
Minority
thought that there was
Report.
some AI stuff in
it's
in
a
the
it's
trailer.
a huge system that just watches everything,
Right.
purchases, video cameras, cell phone conversations, everything, and it determines terrorists by that information.
Right.
And there are people who want to control it and people who want to stop it for spying reasons and people who want to control it because they can have more power.
Right.
But the government has no control over it at all. They can't even, they just get a number.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any access to the machine at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how the machine was set up to work. And it also sees everyday crime.
Okay.
The government only cared about
The terrorists.
It's post 9/11. They just care about terrorism. So Ben or Harold, he sets up a system where he gets everyday
crimes.
murders, mostly usually, and he gets the Social Security number of someone, and it's called person of interest because it could be the victim or the perpetrator.
Oh,
The machine doesn't
tell you.
specify.
Hmm.
So
they got a surveillance.
Like it's a cruel game for the machine to make you figure out if it's the murderer or murderee.
Well, it's just it's based on it's just if you're doing a lot to commit crime, it sees that, or if it sees if something's
If you've really ticked someone off.
yeah,
Okay.
basically, and they have to watch the person and see if they're the perpetrator or the victim, and it starts well into it, and he meets Jim Caviezel and he gets him to do it with him. But there are flashbacks later on of him doing it trying to do it by himself, then doing it with a previous muscle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's all the conspiracy things came to a head in season 3.
And this is season 4 now?
Season 4 starting this week.
Okay.
And I mean, it's gotten way off of the procedural part.
Mm-hmm.
It is mostly about the interaction where they added people who got helped.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, some of them got added to the team, basically. So
that's
now they
cool.
have multiple, and there were 2 of them were in the police force,
Mm-hmm.
and they were working them from different sides. They didn't know. They ended up being partners and didn't know they were both working with
Oh, that's kind of
the
fun.
good
that's
guys of the show. And there's a former person who worked with the government group who was trying to take over. She was a former operative with the people who are trying to take over the machine because they want to input it and tell it to watch certain people. And
okay.
there's a government. That's what the government wants to do. They want to tell it to watch people and get all the information in a NSA style.
Okay.
And not just be given a number.
Okay, so this computer just kind of, it monitors everything, but will only give you a number if it feels like it's found some kind of pattern.
A viable threat.
And then the government wants to use it as, just give us all the information on every single person you possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the government's goal is, to get out of the machine.
Government.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
And there's a
fictional government, though. The real government would never do anything like that.
In season 3, there's a competing system out there. A guy who's running a competing computer system that will do all of that stuff.
Okay.
And that is kind of the...
And it's called Skynet.
Yes.
I was trying to think of what they call that machine in Chuck. The
Intersect?
The Intersect. So that's Intersect 2.0.
Intersect
season
2.0.
3.
And that all, they kind of collide in season 3.
Does Brandon Ralph come in and, like, kick people in the face?
No.
Okay.
Brandon Routh and Kristen Crook come in on season 3.
Amy Acker is in it, and she is early on. She's kind of saved by the thing, but she's kind of a nutball. Oh, she's trying to hack it.
Oh,
She's a hacker. They call her Brute, and she's kind of Catwoman-esque.
Oh, okay.
She's got her own agenda, and sometimes
she helps.
Sometimes she helps the good guys, and sometimes she's kind of indifferent about what they think.
okay.
All right. One I didn't have on the list that I wanted to say, we touched on it briefly, is New Girl. Watch New Girl when it comes back because it is hilarious. I love Schmidt.
Yeah, that's a fun show. I've heard that this new season is going to be a lot less focused on like any specific relationship and just more like fun and silly. Yeah, like them as just a group of friends.
I love Nick too, Nick Miller.
Yeah, that's another good show. Every character is really interesting. Winston, that character I feel really sorry for because I feel like in every season he's been drastically different as a character.
He gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that he replaced Coach, because Coach was in the pilot, but then his show took off. Happy Endings got renewed, so he could.
Damon Wayans Jr.?
Yeah. So Winston was the black guy in the second episode. And from then on, and then mid-season 3, after Happy Endings was canceled, they brought Coach back.
Right.
But then they kept both of them, you know.
Yeah, because I think they made Winston's character what Coach was supposed to be, and now that Coach is back, they're trying to, like, make us forget that he was ever a coordinated, fairly cool basketball player, but...
Right.
Yeah.
And now he teaches PE sometimes, and he's a personal trainer, and...
Yeah, it's weird. But it's still really fun. I like that show a lot.
Yeah, that new episode was on this week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I didn't realize it was coming back. I don't pay enough attention when shows come back.
Well,
you side reel.
Yeah.
It emails you every day. What tells you what's on today, what was on yesterday, and what's on the next day.
That's cool.
Every show that you put into it.
I'm going to say, even though it's already come back, it's been back for 3-4 weeks now. Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Because the British don't care about our TV season.
Right. They really don't. I mean, there is huge gaps. Huge gaps in between seasons.
Series.
Oh, yeah, there's series over there. But Peter Capaldi's kind of getting in the swing of things, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about him just based on the first episode, but now that he's been in a couple more, he's a lot different from the previous Doctors in the sense that Matt Smith was so enthusiastic and cheerful, and Peter Capaldi, he's more of a I'm here and I'm going to do this, and I really don't care what you think kind of doctor.
Yeah, that's one thing I never understood. Like, for some reason, I understand that he can change, like, what he looks like.
Right.
And he can only do it so many times, right?
Right.
And he's done it so much. But, like, does his personality change?
His personality changes a bit. It tweaks a bit. And there's a quote that Matt Smith had as he was dying, going out, talking about, we all regenerate. Throughout our lives, we all become different people. But the important thing is to never forget, you know, and then he has a sappy line about, I will always remember when the doctor was me. But, I mean, he's right. People change, you know, as you grow, different life experiences.
Yeah.
And if you watch the 50th anniversary episode of the Doctor, they kind of touch on that because he was, they have the War Doctor who I guess never took the name of the Doctor. He fought in the Time War and ended everything by wiping out both sides, his own people, the Time Lords and the Daleks. And, then after that, he was Eccleston for a little bit. And some say that when he regenerated into Tennant, it was so he could be younger for his companion, so he could be a boyfriend for her, because he was previously suffering from post-traumatic stress or whatever after fighting in the war. But I don't know about that. But
Sounds like a lot of fan theory there.
Yeah, they go on though into the 50th, and they talk about how Tennant's Doctor was the man who kind of regretted the Time War, who thought about all the children that had died and all that. And then Smith's version, as he got a little older, he was the one who tried to forget it, and just be fun and enthusiastic. And it seems like Peter Capaldi may want to make amends for some of the things that he's done wrong in some ways. There's, in one of the teasers, he says, 2,000 years, I'm 2,000 years old and I've made a lot of mistakes. There's time I did something about it. So I don't think they've reached that point in the show yet, but it's coming really soon, I think.
Fair enough. That's another show I don't think I can really get into. I've given it chances, and
yeah, the first season when they come back with Eccleston is kind of rough because they had a lower budget, and there's a few gems in that season, but it doesn't really pick up till Tennant takes over.
And he's Doctor for how many seasons?
I don't remember. 2? I think he's been the longest one.
Oh, okay.
Since they came back, 3 or 4 maybe. I don't know. I think he might have done 4, and Smith has done 3. I forget.
Well, keep us informed.
Oh yeah,
if it's good or not.
Well, it has everything, it has time travel, space travel, robots, cyborgs. Aliens. It's got
but it's
all that sci-fi
campy.
stuff thrown in there.
So
sometimes it gets a little out of the campiness. There's some episodes that genuinely freak me out. But
I enjoy the Community references to Dr. Spacetime.
Oh yeah.
That's about as far into Doctor Who as I get.
Actually, Inspector Spacetime on Community was one of the things that made me start watching Doctor Who, because
really,
they really look like they were having fun watching it on Community. They're fake ripoff, and I'm like, I got to give this a try.
Those actors watching that show looks like I would enjoy.
They're
it as
having
well.
a good time.
Yeah.
They're watching the fake show and enjoying it. I want to watch the real thing. There was that, and then my wife had a friend that was big in the new Doctor Who. No. So I started watching it, and
there are no kind of like Doctor Who fans. It's either you do or you don't.
Yeah, that's understandable. I get it. It's done for where a younger viewer could watch it. There's nothing too horrible in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So I could understand why most adults would kind of not want to watch it or whatever for that reason. Because it's less an adult show.
For me, it's not so much that it's not an adult show. The episodes that I've seen, I've watched probably the first 4 of season or series 1.
Okay. And
then I've seen just bits and pieces of clips and episodes here and there, and every one of them, they just, the humor is really hit or miss for me.
Oh yeah.
And it's just campy, and I guess I just don't. And maybe it explains more in the show. I just don't like shows that kind of make up rules as they go along.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
And
some shows do that.
Yeah, exactly.
This is guilty of it.
Yeah, sure. And I'm just not a fan of that. I'm a fan of here are the set rules, and here's the universe that's within these rules.
Right.
And if something happens to where now all the rules are changed, then it's okay, I'm alright with that. But if we're in an alternate,
you can pick and choose.
Yeah.
Well, there's set point in time. You can't alter time if it's a set point, like World War II or something like that.
But you can parallel universes and
not as much
planets
anymore.
And stuff like that.
But yeah, the other planet, I don't know.
I'm not making fun. I'm just I get that there are set rules of that, but I don't know.
Time travel is hard.
Time
It
travel's
is.
hard. And then they do...
And it's not realistic because any minor change would change more than you
Right.
Yeah.
could
More than you
possibly-
realize.
Like Looper. Apparently when you grow up, your non-detached ears become detached if you're Joseph Gordon-Levitt and then Bruce Willis.
True.
It happens because you have how you do things. And you go from being right-handed to left-handed, too. Bruce Willis is a lefty, pretty sure. But anyway, that's all I have on Doctor Who, I think. Oh, I will tell you, season 1. First episode, Rose, you've already got that out of the way. It's painful to get through.
Yeah.
But it does
took
kind
me,
of,
like,
it kind of teaches you
forever.
the relationship between him and the companions. And then,
See, I can't take the word companion seriously. Because when I think companion, I think of Firefly, and that's just like high-end hooker, but like high-end psychological hooker.
oh yeah.
So whenever I hear that in Doctor Who, I'm just like, what kind of awful things is he doing to these poor girls?
Yeah. But if you watch that, there's an episode called Dalek. Watch that episode. Then there is it's 2 parts. The first part is called The Hollow Child, and then if you watch The Doctor Dances, like watch those episodes, and then either the very last episode or the last 2, because it's kind of 2 parts, but you really don't need the first part to enjoy the second part. If you watch those episodes, that's really all you need out of the first season, and then you can gladly move on to Matt Smith.
Like, yeah, I remember, I was already pretty well done watching Battlestar, I think, or like near the end of
And I
the
just
season.
said Matt Smith, and it's David Tennant. You're going to move on to David Tennant,
Yeah.
not Matt Smith.
But like, I remember seeing something for like Battlestar as far as like, if you want to watch the whole series, but you don't want to watch every single episode, you watch these shows and these episodes, and they'll give you the story.
Right.
And I want someone to be able to do that for Doctor Who.
I think it's online. I've seen.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they do
For
have
Doctor
some.
Who?
Yeah, I thought about sharing that with people, but I don't know that I agree with their episode choices. Some of them, it takes a while to
Like
set stuff up. Like,
yeah.
there have been episodes that have bugged me that I didn't want to watch, but it actually ended up helping set something else up.
Yeah.
So, it's hard. It would be
that's why
hard
you
for me
have,
to pick and choose. I can do the first season because the first season is not that good.
Yeah, and like I'd only want that so I could like get into it a little bit more.
Right.
Because I agree. Like Buffy was like that. I think. There was some other. I think Supernatural is kind of a show like that, where the first
where it
season
should.
it's a little bit rough around the edges.
It was pretty much Monster of the Week. mostly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they set out to find the
Yellow
monster that
ID.
killed their mom and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who came back and killed the girlfriend, and it ended up being Monster of the Week. Never really.
Yeah.
And then the last show that we have on the list is Arrow. I'm excited about Arrow.
The green and the red and the.
There'll be a
All
little,
those.
a little red arrow, a little green arrow, a little black canary,
Mm-hmm.
multi-color show.
Little Superman.
A little Superman. Oh, well, yeah, Brandon
I
Routh is...
see what you did there. A little Superman. Nice.
A Superman that did not do as well at the box office, Brandon Routh.
Emo Superman.
Emo Superman.
Stalkery
Stalker,
Superman.
yeah, creepy. He will be joining Arrow as the Atom, Ray Palmer. It's going to be weird for me to see because he's such a big guy. Him on there with Stephen Amell, because I'm just going to think Superman. Seeing them two on screen together. But
I'll be honest with you, the more I see Brandon Routh act in things, the more I realize he can't act in things. Like,
well, hopefully he'll get through this.
he's got the same look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of his mannerisms are just exactly the same. Like, his Clark Kent, Superman, whoever he was in Chuck, and probably in this as well. It's like
Dylan Dog.
Yeah, like it's just the same person. Like, I don't know. He doesn't have range. I don't think at
You
all.
don't think?
No.
The thing I'm most excited about is this season we will see Raj Al Ghul will be coming to Arrow this season, and they've cast him. I can't remember who they cast.
Not like a real big name.
No.
He
And
was
I'm
in the
fine
newest
with that.
Riddick movie.
I never watched that.
Oh,
You have or you haven't? That's good.
Yeah, I think
I
I
liked
didn't
it.
hear that, but I'm excited to see this character. Arrow is, I still say it's my favorite comic book thing that's on TV is Arrow. Or
Yeah.
even movies. Like, it's my favorite live action comic book thing, I would say.
I'm just excited that we are finally off the stupid island for
Nobody's
flashbacks.
going to go back.
Well,
We're going to flashback to China.
Yeah, that's fine though. Like, I would love to see flashbacks to like Hong Kong and see what he's doing with like Waller and stuff like that. I just am just tired of that scenery of the island.
I enjoyed all the island flashbacks, but he was on his own by the end of season 2. He's on, I mean, it would have just been him talking to trees or a volleyball.
Clearly, I would watch 3 hours of that. I don't know about an entire season, but
but so yeah, it'll be interesting. A change of scenery. I don't know. I'll miss the island, and I'm sure he'll be back by the end of the season.
Yeah, because
because he was supposed to have spent 5 years on the island.
Cadmus was under the island, or I thought I read something that like there's something underneath the island that you find out in season 2 or something.
They find a sub in season 2.
They went back to the island and left. What's his name there?
Slade.
Crixus.
And what?
Crixus.
It was, they call it Purgatory, don't they? Because that's the name of the island.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the translation for the island. They build a prison cell at the bottom where they're going to keep prisoners.
Yeah.
Like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And so that's where, spoilers, that's where Slade ends up.
Yeah.
Because,
after he's been depowered.
Yeah. They lock it. Not only is he on the island that you can't get off of, but he's locked in a cell on the island you can't get off of.
That seems pretty hopeful.
Yeah, I know. It looks like a state-of-the-art cell, though. I mean, it looks nice. He's not just in some cage. I don't know if somebody's going to come check on him or whatever.
Well, because the last thing I want to get whenever I'm in a cell that I can't escape on an island I can't escape is tetanus.
Exactly.
So
yeah, you want to stay healthy.
Well, if I'm going to be there for a while, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah, I want to be there as long as I possibly can. I don't want to die early. I don't want to get it over with.
I mean, I'm in prison. I'm going to enjoy prison as much as I possibly can.
Right.
Yeah.
In this 8x8 cell.
3 square meals a day, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah. Yeah. Assuming someone is there to feed him, because they don't really show any staff.
Yeah, they show like them see like a manhole type cover where it's at.
Yeah, where Oliver comes out. And
then they leave.
So they just leave him to die.
I guess, yeah.
We're going to let you starve, but we're really worried about you, so we're going to put you in a cell.
A nice cell.
A nice cell miles below the earth.
It's what you didn't see is there's another hatch, and there's a tree that's dropping coconuts in.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he's going to make it.
He's going to survive on coconut milk.
Coconuts, yeah.
Next time you see him, he's just going to have a necklace, and he's just gone bonkers.
Oh.
Coconut.
But it'll be really ripped. Because Tom Hanks was really ripped whenever you get to him.
Well,
spears.
When you're doing the motion to make fire every single day, yeah, you're going to have some really good forearms.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Any other TV shows we need to comment on?
I don't really think... I'm sure there's a lot that I'll be getting back into, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine is probably my number one. Like, if I can only choose one show... I say that... I take that back. Probably another show would be Parks and Recreation.
Oh, because it's ending. Yeah, you should definitely watch the last season.
Yeah, that's the last season, and the biggest reason I'm excited about it is because I guess have either one of you guys seen the show?
I've seen it.
The last season they jump forward like 3 years, I think. Yeah. And so, but it does that in the last probably 30 seconds of the episode.
I thought they were done.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be done with the show. I was surprised to hear that there was another season coming back.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to see. I'm excited for that show to come back, but it's going to be cool to have it set 3 years in the future and see where all the characters are now, and it'll be really fun.
Right.
Because that's one thing I really like about that show is they do a really good job of making all those characters grow as well.
You just want to see Star-Lord. That's all you care about.
I want to see them make another joke about how he looks as good as he does, but he's supposed to be a sloppy, flabby,
maybe he will be
kid.
Maybe well, I don't know. 3 years in the future. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they'll have him put the weight back on for the show.
He was supposed to be chubby at the end of the episode that he was in whenever
Oh really?
They're getting those kids.
I didn't pay attention. But anyway, I believe that is it for us. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and like and subscribe on YouTube. Bye-bye.
See ya.